Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Meadsy69 and welcome back to another top 5 video. This top 5 video was voted for by you guys on my community tab on YouTube. And this is the top 5 premium tanks that are worth buying. And so what I mean by that is I'm not going by OP tanks or anything like that, like Dracula's, because it's OP. I'm taking away the fact that I'm not using OP as a reason to buy these tanks, because usually OP tanks are quite expensive. So I'm taking into account how strong the tank is, how good the tank is, and basically the price of the tank. So coming in at number 5 is quite a rare tank, and it is the 047, the 047. I think it's only been for sale once or twice before, but it's such an underrated tank. It's an incredible tank. So if you ever have the opportunity to buy the 047, it's definitely worth purchasing. Not sure why it hasn't come back in Blitz for so long. Hopefully one day we will see it back, but for now it's one of the rarest tanks in the game. So coming in at number 4 is the Panzer IV. Now for me, this is cheap. I mean, for Tank Fest we had hundreds and hundreds of bonus codes for this tank. It's been for sale for sort of 5k gold, 6k, something like that. And in my opinion, it's the best tier 6 in the game. It is absolutely incredible. It's got good armor for a medium tank. It's got a good turret. It's got good accuracy. It's got good aim time. It's got great DPM. It's got great speed. Everything about this tank is really, really good. And for the price it comes at, it's definitely worth purchasing. I mean, I don't play a lot of tier 6, and even people that doesn't play a lot of tier 6, this tank is still definitely worth to have in your garage. I'd probably recommend 2 tier 6s, this and the Cromwell B. The Cromwell B is equally as good, well, almost as good as this tank, but this for me tops it. This for me is the best tier 6 in the game, and for the price it comes out in stores, I mean, it comes quite regularly in stores, so if you haven't got one of these tanks, I definitely recommend you to buy this tank. For a few thousand gold, I mean, it's not the end of the world, and you're getting a great fun tank. And not only is it a good tank, but it's an enjoyable tank to play. With the rate of fire, you can really dish out some damage. Now, this battle, 2 minutes long, and we've done 2.5k damage, and we earned 50,000 credits. Not bad at all. Now, coming in at number 3, it is this tier 9, French tier 9. It is the AMX first prototype, the AMX 1ER. Now, this, again, just like the tier 6, this is probably the best tier 9 medium tank in the game. Yes, it's a premium or enriched. When it comes to the store, it usually comes for, I'd say, around 15,000 gold, which for some is quite costly. But it's not too costly for the tank you're getting. I mean, this is crazy tank. It's got great armor, turret armor. It's got a great gun, good speed, good gun depression. Again, everything about this tank is very, very good. And if it comes for sale, it's definitely worth thinking about getting. Now, this is probably one of my favourite tanks in the game, not just the tier 9, but one of my favourite premium tanks in the game. As you can see, I play in ratings battles. I've got the ratings camos because it can hold its own in tier 10. It's very good in tier 8. Overall, it's just a really, really good tank. I mean, the speed of it, look at this, 60 kilometers an hour around the map, and we can get into a different position. 6.7 seconds reload, good aim time, good accuracy, good penetration for a medium tank. All in all, it's definitely a tank worth getting in your garage. So if this does come for sale for around, I'd say 15,000 gold, then really I would think about getting the tank. A lot of people I talk to loves this tank. It's not just me. A lot of people who own the tank loves the tank, and I can see why, because it's just so much fun. It's not just good. It's not OP. It's not OP, but it's good. It makes credits, and it's fun to play. Now, that's the one thing I look at when I buy premium tanks. And I mean, I own so many premium tanks, but a lot of them I don't play. Some of them are good, but they're not fun. You know, like I've got the Object 252U. I've got loads of tanks that are good, but they're not fun. And so that's the most important thing for me. As long as they're fun to play, then you're going to get your money's worth. Now, if you get your money's worth, then that is the best thing. You're going to make credits. You're playing tier 9. You're going to rack up your damage in this thing. You're going to rack up hopefully your win rate, your credits, everything. So this is the AMX Prototype. Originally, people are quite annoyed with this tank because originally, I think a long time ago, Wargaming announced, I don't know if they announced it, but they were supposed to be bringing the AMX 30B into the French tech tree, and this was going to be the tier 9. But they end up selling this tank, which as soon as they sold it as a premium tank, then that line is pretty much gone. And then, of course, they bring out the AMX 30B. So this is basically an AMX 30B in tier 9 without that big hatch on top. So very enjoyable tank, and as I've said a few times, if you do have the gold, then it's definitely worth getting. So coming in at number 2, it is the Chinese. Of course, it has to be the Chinese tier 7 light tank, the Type 62. Now, this is, again, probably the best tier 7 in the game. It has to be the best tier 7 in the game. It's a light tank. It's got fantastic speed, fantastic DPM. I mean, 5 seconds reload, 150 to 160 damage per shot. The AP pen is just average, but the heat pen is insane. The heat pen is what makes this tank, I think, because it can just go through tier 8s like butter with the heat. And with that included, the speed, I mean, you've got no armor. People can shoot you with HE, so you've got no armor. Usually when this tank comes for sale, it's around the 10,000 mark, which, okay, you can say is a little bit expensive maybe for a tier 7 tank, considering they've previously bring out tier 9s for 10,000 gold, like the T55A. But 10,000 gold for a tank that you are never going to stop playing is not bad. It's not bad, and it is the most enjoyable tank to play, probably in the game. I would say this is probably one of the most enjoyable tanks to play in the game. If you're platooning in this thing with, you can platoon with this with anything. You can platoon with it in a Dracula. You can platoon in it in another Type 62, in a heavy, in an SU-152. So you can platoon in anything with this tank, and you can really dish out the damage, and it makes fantastic credits as well. It makes amazing credits. So you can be in a tier 8 game, you can spam heat, still do the damage, and you're still going to make credits. So this battle, we've done what, 1200 damage. There's 2 tanks left, an IS-3 and an IS-6. We are now going to load the heat, because why not? We are up against the heavy, and you're just going to see how easy it is to pen. I mean, that's an IS-3. It just goes through these heavies like butter. And now we can just load the AP into the back of this IS-6, racking up our damage, racking up our credits, and we are going to win this game very, very comfortably. Just 6 versus 1. We're on 3 kills. I think we're going to get 2 more shots, 1, and we are going to get the final kill shot. In this game, we make about 90,000 credits. So, not bad. Now, coming in at number 1, a lot of you might not agree with me, obviously. No one's going to agree with my top 5. It's each to their own. But for me, this is probably the tank that is number 1. That is a must-have tank in your garage. And it is the Louvre. We're going to call it the Louvre. I've never known really how to pronounce it. Every time I do pronounce it, someone says I'm wrong. But we're going to call it the Louvre. It's a tier 8 German heavy tank. It's crazy. It's one of the best credit earners in the game. I think it's like number 3. But the tanks before it are like the Angry Connor, the Super Persian, where this has a lot more penetration than them tanks. You don't have to shoot as much gold in this than you do them tanks. So, or not the Angry Connor, but the Super Persian especially. So, because you're not shooting as much gold, you're going to make more credits. It's been buffed, not recently, but it has been buffed, and it got an armor buff. And since that armor buff, this really, really is a strong tank. Really strong tank. It's got a great turret. It's got great accuracy, great reload. It makes great credits. I think the only downfall about this tank is the speed. It is quite slow but it is a big tank. It's a big, big tank. Of course, it's a German tank, so the sides of the tank, the rear of the tank are very weak. But you can see there, the front of the tank is quite strong, especially against those tier 7s. It's very strong. The turret, as I've said, is really strong, but as soon as you start to turn your turret, it does become weak. But if you can get hull down in this thing, you can have a whale of a time and just get bounce after bounce after bounce. Now, we're watching Maniac Accurate here, and it's a 3-on-4. He's going to load the HE in this. Borzik gets absolutely ripped apart. It's a 3-on-4, so he's going to try and get one more shot there. He is going to load the AP and then change to the HE, but it's going to be now 2 versus 3. I think there is a tank up there that is getting destroyed. There is a Super Persian here, tries the HE, doesn't work, so he's going to use the AP, and now it is a 2 versus 3. So his KV5 is very, very low hit points, and he's going to be taken out very soon. He's going to take out the KV5 before he does die. The Super Persian takes him. So now it leaves this Luva versus a T49 and a Super Persian. Nice shot there on the T49. Fantastic shot. Now, what he needs to do is he needs to face that T49 because the armor on this thing, he's really going to struggle to pen it with heat. And if he uses HE, he's only going to be able to do splash damage on this thing, and you're going to see him bounce his heat round. So he's going to try and get one more shot that he really needed to get that shot, because now he is down to 14 HP. He needs to clear this T49 because now he is just a splash damage. But here comes the Super Persian. He does get the shot there, and he gets a clutch bounce even though his turret was turned. Although he needs to shoot this Super Persian twice, he manages to get yet again another bounce. He needs one more bounce before he can take him out, and he does. 2,000 blocked damage, and he ends with just under 5,000 damage. And of course, when you do that much damage, you can walk away with 125,000 credits. So that is my top 5 tanks that are really a must own. Let me know what your top 5 are in the comments below. And I do apologise for the sound in the battles. My headphones are broke. So I'm Meadsy69. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon.